Hey guys, Toby Morrison here, and today is a little bit of a tough subject to talk about, but a very real one in the same sense. And I receive emails every single week on this subject from people who are suffering deeply and really hardly, and it's something that's not talked about much because it's almost a little bit too embarrassing. But it needs to be spoken about, and that is having suicidal thoughts when you are struggling, especially with chronic fatigue syndrome or any other chronic illness or any suffering in that sense. You will come to the point sometimes where you're starting to have these negative thoughts and, starting to lose your sense of self and start to have these silly thoughts of, what's the point of living, or maybe I shouldn't be here, or maybe it will be easier if I just don't exist. So today, I want to share with you, one, it's normal to have those thoughts, and two, a couple of, not tips, but more, meanings or purpose to get through that. Because, when times are tough, it's really hard to see the light, especially when it's so dark. Okay, and that's probably, if you have gone through this before or you're experiencing these issues right now, it's probably because you're in so much dark that you actually can't see any light at all. If I turn the light off and close the blinds right now, you wouldn't even be able to see my face. And so you can't comprehend seeing me even though I'm speaking. But when the light turns on, you can see me and you kind of see the light, you can see my face and you go, it's possible, he's there. And it's the same thing with living and going through the hardest times of your life. So first of all, if you are going through that, I send you all the love and compassion towards you, and just know that you're not alone in this, and that this is a normal, habitual thing that happens when times get tough and we start to lose our sense of self and worth, and when the pain is just so excruciating, so hard to deal with emotionally and physically, it feels easier that we just give up. I know in times of my life, especially early on, that I didn't know what was going on with me, so I was so confused, and I just thought maybe it would just be easier if I didn't have to go through this all together, and I just, it'd be easier, it'd be less painful if I died right now. That's how excruciating the pain was. The statement that I said wasn't true, it was just that I didn't know any way other out. And through that time of suffering, through that heartache, I went on the journey of helping myself and doing the best I could and going through lots of ups and downs. So, one, know that it's very normal to have these thoughts of, maybe I should quit, or maybe I should stop my life, or maybe, it's the end, there's no point living anymore. But know that those thoughts aren't who you are. And this is where you become separate to your thoughts, because right now, in those darkest times, you start to believe everything that you think, and your mind just goes crazy. I'm not good enough, what's the point, no one loves me, I don't even love myself, the sun's never going to come up again, even though it does every single day, but you just can't see it because you're in this black hole. So the first thing is to realize that you are not your thoughts. Okay, thoughts come and go. It's just that we attach to it, and then we start to believe it, and then when we start to believe it, we create a story around it, and then it amplifies. And by that, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we feel we can't escape it. So the first thing is to factually know that you are not your thoughts, okay? And that's really good to know, so you can separate yourself from those thoughts that do pop up from time to time. You can see it and go, okay, I'm having that thought, but it's not who I am, it's not me, it's not actually what I want to do, okay? However, if you are intending, or you do feel like you're on the verge of being suicidal, reach out to a helpline, reach out and just get help straight away. Although you won't feel like it at the time, it will save your life and it will be helpful for you to get through that tough period. Now, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, one, it's normal that you're going through this, but two, I think there's a stat that actually says that 90% of people who suffer from ME, CFS, actually have thoughts of suicide. Not that they're intending to do it, but they're having thoughts. And just know it's having those thoughts is a natural occurrence when life isn't going so great. Okay, especially when you're seeing everything around you and everyone around you living to the extremes, and you wish you could be doing that, but you're not. Okay. The second thing is identify that the thoughts are actually not who you are, and you don't actually have to believe them. Okay. Now, one of the things that's really important is getting that support and talking about what's going on. Because if you do that, within 6 to 12 months, you can look back and go, oh, I can't believe I was having those thoughts. One of the things that happens is we run away from what we have to deal with. And whether that's through illness or addiction, or we want an escape plan from what we're really suffering. So one of the things you can do is just sit still and go through what you're feeling. Not resist it, not try and run away from it, not try and push away from it, but just let it come and let it go. Just like the tide of water. The tide comes in with the waves and then the tide goes out. Okay, it's a natural process. So the same things you can do with your thoughts. When they come in, you can let them go. And this is obviously not a quick fix or the answer, so to speak, but it's more of a solution to let you know, if you are going through this hard time at the moment, that these are things that you should realize, or I invite you to realize for yourself, that, hey, waves come, waves go. Okay, ebbs and flows of life. So if you are absolutely in a dark place right now and you are struggling, the first thing is reach out for help. Talk to somebody, someone close to you, or someone who's anonymous and doesn't know you. There's Lifeline. You can do free calls all around the world if you feel like you're really desperately in need of help and at desperate measures. The second thing is, rather than focus on those thoughts, it's important that you surround yourself with either people or yourself in terms of something that's going to lift your spirits. And funnily enough, it doesn't have to be the big stuff, it can be the small stuff. Something that in the past maybe made you happy, or something that gave you peace, or something that gave you a sense of purpose. Because sometimes that's what we need to find, is that sense of purpose, that tiny little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that you can kind of see. And of course, you don't need this all the time, but especially when it's dark, like even if you just have one eye open and you can just see there's like a tiny glimpse of light at the end of that dark tunnel. And if you can just see that and hold on to that and just literally put one foot in front of the other and stay alive and do what you can do to get to the next level, that's what matters. Because in these times of, these crazy thoughts, we start to panic and we start to do silly things. We start to exacerbate our problem even more than it really is, and we feel like it literally is the end of the world. Okay? I know this because I've been there before. Okay? Humans are really good at that, because we get a feeling, and that feeling we attach ourselves to, and then we run, and we feel like we need to escape it because it's so painful and so hard. Okay? It's not the funnest experience, because obviously at home you're watching this and you're probably nodding your head going, yeah, that's me. Just know that this is a normal process of human behavior, and you can get through this. It just takes time, and it takes not hard work. I don't like that word, especially when you're feeling so dark and alone. Nothing. I mean, hard work is what you're going through, right? So what you need is easy work. You need to be easier on yourself. You need to be kinder on yourself. You need to probably see, from a different perspective of how far you've come. Maybe you need to thank yourself for being conscious of you even having those thoughts, and the empathy that you can have with other people who are going through hard times is actually valuable to the world. Because every single person has something to offer. All right, I feel like I'm getting teary now, but every single person in this world, including you watching this, you have something valuable to offer. And I'm not talking in a monetary sense. I'm not talking in a materialistic sense. I'm talking in a human connection sense. And it might not necessarily be with humans. It might be with pets. It might be with animals. It might be with the earth. It might be with the work you do. It might be with your family, your loved ones. It might be with, the sea life. I don't know. Everyone's different. You know the answers inside you. So just realize that there is something that, you know, whilst you might feel like in your whole body and in your whole life that everything is missing and that there's nothing going right and that it's time to, you know, leave this world, find that one tiny little hole in your body or light in your body that says, actually, no, there's something that it's keeping me here. What's keeping you here? You know, the funny thing is, I saw a guy recently online who documented his journey about having cancer. And he was really struggling at the time, and you know, he felt like his life was ending, and you know, he was obviously really upset. And he said, I just want to do what I do best. I want to inspire people, and I want to help people, and this is stopping me. And I was watching and I was observing, and I thought, well, he's actually inspiring people through his suffering without him even knowing it. Like, his way of inspiring is being up and being high and having lots of energy and motivating people through what he does. But in another sense, he was actually inspiring people to show vulnerability, to show that, hey, even people like him will go through suffering, go through hard times, and that, you know, if he can get through it, maybe they can too. Okay? So just because you're suffering, it doesn't mean that you don't have any value in this world. All right, you actually do. You probably have more value than most people. It's just that they can't see it, okay? Because they're too busy living their own crazy lives. Okay, so all I want to do today, this is just a completely random video. It popped up into my head because, you know, it's something that I battled with. It's something that I'm seeing a lot of people battle with. I'm getting a lot of emails from people who have really struggled, you know, and felt alienated by these thoughts. But if you know, we need to make it it's a universal thing. I mean, if you look at it, even Hollywood celebrities have these thoughts, and sometimes, you know, unfortunately do it. And it's not their fault or anyone else's fault, it just is. But if we can spread the message and realize that, hey, this is a universal thing, you know, these are thoughts that then develop into something bigger. And one, reach out for help. And literally share what you're going through, because your suffering can actually help someone else, and also, you know, help you, give you some perspective, and then realize that, hey, maybe it's worth keeping on going. Because it is. You don't know what's around the corner, you know, and the corner seems scary because it's just like you're living literally second by second, minute by minute. But, you know, all that matters is you. Not the next second or the next minute. It matters right now, how, you know, in this moment, how you are right now. And you don't necessarily have to be fantastic. You don't necessarily have to be down. That doesn't matter. What is. It doesn't matter whether it's up or down, good or bad, light or dark. All that matters is you inside of that, and that you're staying there, and that you will go through it, good and bad. You will go through the ebbs and flows. You can get through this. Okay? Share, ask for help, and know that, you know, what you're thinking is, one, normal, but two, is not who you are. Okay? Your identity becomes attached to your thoughts, but that's actually not true. You're actually not your thoughts. Okay? Not all the time anyway, and you can choose to be when you are or not. So take that perspective back, take a step back. I hope this video helps you separate, you know, any confusion in your life right now, or especially if you are suffering and you are in that dark place. Know that it's absolutely normal, but know there is a ray of light for you as well, and that you need to find that in yourself. It doesn't matter what I say or any other person says. It doesn't matter how motivational or inspiring they are. It's important for you to find the light inside you. And it's a journey. It's not an overnight thing. Don't think it like takes a minute to find it. We're all on this journey to find our light and to share it, especially in the darkest moments when we feel like there is none. Okay? So, expressing my absolute gratitude that you're here watching this video, because that means something, that shows something. Okay? Do whatever it takes to find that light inside you, whether it's writing down things, watching more inspiring videos, surrounding yourself with good people, asking for help, crying, laughing, whatever it is for you right now. There's no right or wrong. All that matters right now is that you know in your heart that, you know, you're worth something, that you're worth living for, and you're worth staying on this absolute planet, because, you know, let's face it, we don't even know what this place is. We're just guests on this earth, and we're lucky to be here, no matter no matter the situation or circumstance, you know, because we really don't know what's next, you know, in this next second. So sharing this love with you, hope this helps. If you need any more information about, you know, CFS in that sense, you can go to www.cfshealth.com. You can sign up to my daily emails, which is, you know, really helpful, and, you know, doesn't cover so much of the dark stuff, but helps you go through it, which is, you know, which is really important. Hope that helps. See you later.